Alright. F1 announcements. Alright, that's that put into the chat then. Game can tell me voice chat suspender. I know that's probably true for the game itself, but not for the stream. Alright, let's see how everything will play out today then. Currently F16, Singapore, 31 laps around the track. Wonder how everything's going to play out with the unequal cards. Might be the first time I've seen the group do that. Unequal cards around Singapore should be fairly interesting. Alright. We should be going in the next couple of minutes. It don't take too long. We're going to have a very interesting situation at hand here, because obviously last week Nikita took the lead of the championship by 6 points. So Boba's got to answer back straight away. Otherwise, this could get out of hand with about 3 or 4 to go. We've got Singapore this week, and then we've got Austria, and then Italy after that. To Monza, and then Bahrain to end us off. Should be only a couple of people left, a couple of people away from sorted. But yeah, so 16 people in the lobby right now. We've got we will have 18 laps of Singapore, well, 18 minutes of Singapore in qualifying, followed by the 31 laps after that. There's a lot on the line with 4 to go. Both in the constructors and in the drivers, actually, for that matter. But the drivers, it's going to swing back and forth a few more times, I reckon, before the end of this. Wondering how long it's going to be before we get underway. Yeah, how is everyone doing this afternoon? I was about to say evening and afternoon at the same time. I had to just go with one of them there. Otherwise, that was just going to be a really weird word coming out of my mouth. amalgamation of afternoon and evening. Wondering what's actually going on in the chat, if anything at all. 'Cause this might be this is taking a little bit of time, and more time than I actually anticipated them getting ready. Right, looks like we just had someone else join. We're now at 17. Need to figure out what's actually going on now. Then let's have a look. What's happening? Looks like we're going at 10 past. Looks like we'll be going in about 3 minutes then. We got a few new allocations as well. So we'll see how people are going to do in their cards. It looks like Boba and Nikita, the two championship leaders, are now in the kick salvers. So we got Alice here. Jaguar in the Haas. Where is Yarlow? Oh, so it's Jaguar and Yarlow in the Haas. So those two from earlier on in the season were doing a pretty good run of it. Now in the second worst car in the game. The Lucky High One and Nukana are in the Williams car. The Red Bull being Christ and Zamiku. See what else we've got here. The MCFC and Tichy still in the Mercedes, so nothing changing there. Still the Aston Martin for Zemu. Wicked Prophet in the McLaren. Massacrator still in the Red Racing Bull with Nakuzda. Jags in the Aston Martin alongside Zemu's at the moment. AJ still in the Ferrari. Not like an awful lot has changed, despite it being flipped just a little bit. All right. Looks like we're about to get ready to go now then. All right, there you go. We're down. The countdown is over. We are now loading into our race at Singapore. 18 minutes of qualifying, followed by 31 laps. There is a chance of rain. I don't know if they were going to get that. Get the actual rain in the race itself. We'll have to wait and find out. Or even so, it could be in qualifying as well. We'll wait and see. Got a few people to sort themselves out here and connect in. Or we can head straight into qualifying. Looks like we're waiting out the 30 seconds. Looking at us not properly connected in, so we are going to wait out that 30 seconds. Well, bone dry qualifying. I've just launched my headphones that I take to work into next year. Put on a little bit of the map and everything of the sort. That way we can have a look at what is going to unfold here, everyone on the soft to start with. And we have a couple of people getting out early. One of them in America, a couple of them in the Aston Martins. Both of the Aston Martins out straight away. I think that's a Haas as well, looking to get out onto the grid. Who's going to be the one that's actually out on track first? And it's MCSC again. Usually the first one out on a week-to-week basis. Let's see what he can put up for us this evening then. What is the benchmark going to be? The horse behind him is Yellow. Yellow getting out early as well, looking to put times on the board. We have both the Aston Martins, Jagsy and Zemu, are both out on the track right now, and so are both the Red Bulls, D'Amico and Chris as well. Looks like we've got, I think that might be, it is an Alpine, sorry, on the track. Out of the first turn. That is the Frosty one, the only Alpine in the lobby. We've only got 17 in the lobby. Missing a Ferrari, missing a Alpine car as well. We'll figure out what the other car is we're missing. I think it's the McLaren. Yeah, it's the McLaren, the third of the other driver that we're missing. We're just coming up to the end of the flying lap then. We'll start, for those who aren't aware, we stick on the guy on the flying lap for his first, well, he's the guy that was out first on the out lap for his flying lap, so we can get the first lap on the board as early as possible, with MCFC currently running through the first sector. We'll get to see very quickly what the first sector time is going to be. A rather short sector at the top of at the top of the hill in Singapore. We go to the end of the first sector with a 26.988 then. So that's a little bit of a benchmark. Out of curiosity, what's Yellow doing behind him? Flashed up purple. We're not sure whether or not that was actually true. Zimmer's about to come up to the end of that. 27.4. He's about half a second down on NCSC then. NCSC now going through the middle of the sector as well, just trying to keep it together. It looks like they're going through toward the end of the second sector here now then. Either 105.1. Let's see what we're getting with Yellow in that middle sector. 105.1. Okay, Yellow not putting up much faster time than MCSC, so MCSC might be in for a good time tonight. Either that or Yellow's having a really bad one of the two. Used all of his deploy here, MCSC with a 30.4. Yellow next up, 30.3. That's only a tenth and a half. It's usually a lot bigger. And Jagsy with a 29.9 puts 4/10 of a second on Yellow's head. Nikita out on track, Boba's out on track. We've got the two Red Bulls going to the line now. There is an invalidation for D'Amico, and Chris only at a 32.8. Nothing really going for him. Frosty Juan is the next one up. Got a couple of corners to the line, and we'll go back to the Williams and Nikita after that. Looks like 31.6. Looks like Sammy's wishing Jagsy good luck. So 31.6 there for the Frosty One. Nikita, who will go to next because the Williams has just crossed over the line. Nikita, 29.7. There you go. Up a tenth and a half on Jagsy. Up a tenth and a half on Nakuta, who's just gone second. And Boba has just gone third. So all three of them separated by less than a tenth of a second. Couple of yellow flags flying at the moment. 29.9 also for Jaguar. So add another one on. Realistically, the top five, all four, well, four of the top five separated by, what, literally just over half a tenth of a second from Nakuta down to Jaguar. A little bit of parity as we see in this one then. Across, Nukanata is on the track. D'Amico is on the medium tyres for some reason. Massacrator also going through the first sector. So I'll go with Nukanata for now. I reckon the rest of the group is into the pits when they get the chance. So we'll stay with the Williams driver. Yellow flags flying left, right and centre. 105.6 for Nukanata in the end of the second sector there. That's a half second down on Jaguar and company that we saw going through the end of that the end of that second sector on the first let of laps. So if he's going to keep going like that, he's probably going to be in and around where MCFC. Actually, no, he'd probably even be further back than that, probably behind the Frosty One. He's got to find something. It's a 30.9. It is not a particularly good time. Entire second to the dot behind second place. D'Amico into the pit. Wicked is still out there. Massacrator is the one we're looking at right now. 30.1 takes him into sixth. A couple of interesting scenarios unfolding. The top six are getting, well, we have two Kick Salberts, two Haasers in the top seven, two Racing Bulls in the top seven. Jagsy the odd one out. So I wonder what we've got going here in this second part. Yellow out on a outlap. We have a couple of people into the pits. And actually coming back out the pit to Zemu. At the top of the hill there, you can see. Also got, I think, Wicked was on an outlap. He might be on a flying lap now. He is on a flying lap now. So let's go to him and see what he's doing. A couple of yellow flags. That didn't look good. I think Zemu's out on track. And he stopped on track. He must have had a bit of an issue. As we watch Wicked go to the line, we're going to switch very quickly to Zemu's camera angle. It doesn't look like he damaged anything on the car heavily. I guess we'll find out from whether or not he jumped straight into the pits. Couple of drivers is D'Amico my friend? That's the real question. He is. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Someone be resourceful and they're going to be able to get into the race again, into the lobby again. I appreciate you bringing that up, D'Amico. Doesn't look like we're going to get too many issues here then when you go into friends. So remember that on the old game being a problem. Lucky High One just started his lap then. We'll stick with him. We know that the yellow is on a flying lap somewhere in the middle of the lap there. The two Haasers going over the bridge at the moment. Oh, it's invalidated from Lucky I1. That was well wide, so we're going to switch straight to YOLO and see if YOLO's got anything. 4/10 in the bank at the moment. In the end of the second sector, 4/10 currently helping out. That would put him up into that bracket of 4 or 5 different drivers. We'll see if he's got enough in the tank to do it then. 29.8. It's good enough for second. It puts him within a 10th for Nikita. All of a sudden, Nikita's maybe looking slightly backwards now to see what's going on. We'll see if there's going to be any improvements here. So Jaguar up a 10th and a half. That almost gives him enough to take the lead or take provisional pole here. It's got to be a good second sector to give him enough a chance as possible. That looked a little bit wide, almost darted straight into a wall for good measure. We go round over the bridge here and through to the end of the second sector. Jaguar was a 10th and a half up. That would be enough to put him toe-to-toe with Nikita. The thing is, he's now actually ahead. Almost 3/10 up. That'll take him into the sixes. A 29.6 is more than enough to take the lead. A little bit of help from YOLO there. YOLO gets out the way, provides a little bit of slipstream for, as well. But either way, Jaguar around the final couple of corners now to the line. Just about keeps it valid and hits the 29.5. And all of a sudden, that might be a very big margin to overcome. In terms of hitting that 29.5, Paul, I reckon, would have been somewhere in the region of that 29.5, 29.4 area. Boba, straight to 29.4. Almost 29.4 flat, straight away, without even blinking. As the current second place in the championship has just taken things up another notch. Don't forget, Nikita took it off of him last week. The championship lead switched hands for the first time in a long time, after Nikita was able to overtake in Miami. Boba is pretty much straight away looking to try and snatch that back. It's a 10th and a half still for Nikita. That's not actually enough to take him above Jaguar, never mind above Boba. Now got a very interesting scenario as he comes around the second to last corner, and now the final corner. And it is going to be an improvement. And he beats Jaguar by 100th of a second. Just about with a good third sector. Gets over the top of Jaguar for now. But still an entire 10th and a half off the back of the session leader. Massacre right in the middle of that as well. 29.549. 3 thousandths of a second off the back of Nikita. 7 thousandths ahead of Jaguar. We're going to have some heavyweight fights tonight. See if Arctic Squirrel's on my list. I hope he is. He is on the list. There you go. Continue on to Massacre will be in the pits. Nikita will be heading to the pits. Jagsy. I don't actually know if this is a second lap or not. I guess we're about to find out because he's about to cross the end of the second sector. No problem, Arctic. He is about 3.5 tenths up. Okay, this could get interesting. This could get very interesting. 3.5 tenths takes him into the 29.6s with a sector to go. This could put him right up there with second, third, and fourth. Boba still have the 10.5 advantage. It would have to be an all-time third sector for that to be overcome. And it is! It is! What a sector! 29-1! Found an entire half a second in just the final sector alone. What a lap! Beat that, I guess. What a statement that is. MCFC is out of the session. Wow. I didn't have that one penciled in, admittedly. Zamiku heading into the pits, Wicked behind him, gone for the end of the lap. Arctic Squirrel left again. Don't know if he needs another invite. Seemingly will tell us if he does. Trying to figure out where the yellow flag is. And we can actually figure out how long left in the session. Well, DRS kicking in with Wicked. I can imagine Wicked probably not out on too much of a lap right now. I think that's Zemu out actually causing the yellow flags. Or that. That'll definitely do it. Remote just casually dying in the middle of the race. Apologies about that. Either way, I think everyone's just starting to come back out. 1 minute 43 left in the session. And quite frankly, if I'm Jagsy, I'm not worried in the slightest. Yep, and there you go. That's the retirement from the session for the race leader, for the session leader, trying to go for pole position. I don't know if Arctic has actually said they needed the extra invite or not. I invite him again either way. Wicked has just retired from the session. So we got a couple of people out. That was actually at turn 1 there for the McLaren. I think there was I think Zemu, is it Zemu? Yeah, Zemu's just gone over the line. He's out of battery, so that'll be the end of his session as well. A couple of drivers crossing the line now. Frosty 1 on par for second. Up in 11th. I think Massacrator just is on his lap actually. So that's Nakuta going through with the Haas as well of Jaguar. 4/10 of a second up there. Up into the 29.5s himself. He did that earlier on in the night. We are very close to the end of the session. I'm trying to find out who is where. As Tichy coming to the line, he is currently on an outlap. Chris is going into the pit, so that'll end his night. We've got a Haas driver heading to the line now then. Yarlo currently 4/10 up, but invalid. He has got invalid, so that'll be the end of his session here then. Nukanada 30.5 is all he's got in the tank, so he's up in the ninth, but that's all he can give. Lucky High One is the next one to the line. A 104.8 down into the end of the second sector. And then I think it's either Nakuto or Massacrator following him. And then after that, it'll be Jaguar looking to try and snatch pole at the end. If he can find 4/10 of a second, apparently. Jagdy has pulled a lap out. I don't think he can do better than that again if he tried. Lucky High One, 29.9 is good enough for 7th at the moment. So it's Nakuta to the line next, not able to improve up above 8th. It's invalid for Jaguar, so his night is going to come to an abrupt halt there in qualifying. Nikita has got to find 4/10 of a second to end up on pole. Nikita has found 4/10 of a second because he's found 7. Boba to the line, not improving, and Nikita with 28.8. Massacring validated lap. Into the pits for Frosty One. Zamiku to the line, he invalidated. So Tichy into the pits. Trying to figure out where. That's Nukanota coming over the line now, so we're pretty much done. We're pretty much done. That Aston Martin isn't really doing much of anything, and it's a minute and something back, done a 2-minute lap. And that's well and truly the end of his qualifying. After scrolling on outlap, got himself into a car at the very least. Which is always a good sign. We have a McLaren in the garage. We are missing a Ferrari and an Alpine then. Wow. I thought Jagsy's lap was fairly untouchable, to be completely honest with you. Nikita has absolutely levered that in right at the end. Right at the end of the session. I think Jagsy genuinely probably sat there thinking he's got his first ALR pole. It was snatched from underneath him. We're just going through the end of the session now. 15 seconds left. I think Arctic's not going to get anything here, so this is going to be the end of the session. He's going to have to start from the back, but at the same time, at least he's actually in a car. All right. There you go. 28.8 from Nikita, 29.1 from Jagsy, and then Boba and Massacre just over a second split then too. Looks like Zemu went into low fuel mode. We're heading straight into lining up for the race itself. Alright, let's see how long it's going to... We're lined up on the grid then, let's go! So on the formation lap, we have Nikita from Jagdi on the front. A very split bag. In terms of the strategies here then, half the group on the hards, half the group on the mediums. Literally 9 apiece. Front four all starting on the medium tyres, however. So we've got Nikita from Jagdi on the front row. Then we've got Boba from Massacre on the second row. Then there's the two Haas's, Jaguar and Yalo on the fifth and 6th. Then we've got Lucky High One and Nakuta in 7th and 8th on that 4th row. And then after that we have MTFC and Nukanota on the 5th row, rounding out the top 10 with Tichy and Frosty starting the double digits with in 11th and 12th. Then we've got AJ and Chris on 13th and 14th, and then Zamiku and Pazimu on 15th and 16th. Say that 3 times fast. And then Wicked and Arctic rounding out both the McLarens on the 9th row. It'll be very interesting to see how this goes then. Everyone going towards the end of the formation lap. We'll go for 31 laps total. For reference, the Drivers' Championship is separated by 6 points between Nikita and Boba. Yarlo in third, 27 points off the lead, so he needs a big day today, and he's going to have to do something special from 6th. In terms of the... in terms of the drivers, in terms of the constructors, it's a 23-point advantage for Jaguar and Yarlo, as they have a 23-point advantage over Boba and Brazemu, and then Massacre and Lucky High won an extra 19 points back. So we'll see what Zemu can do to see get himself back involved in this title, because in that constructors title fight, because the two horses are going to be driving fairly well from this point onwards. We're kind of getting lined up now with the overhead camera angle. It doesn't look like anyone has actually made a mess of their pit box for the first time this season. We go through with 2, with 3, with 4, with 5 red lights. It's lights out, away we go very quickly at the start of this one. It looks like Nikita's got away from Jagsy to start with. Jagsy having to defend from the outside with Boba, who's just about surviving with Massacre on the inside. A little bit of place chopping in the early goings between Yarlo and Lucky High One. The Yarlo holds on to that one. Nuking it up into ninth already. Frosty One there and thereabouts, as well as NCFC did not get off the line very well. He has got past Itchy. He looks to try and fight his way back into the top 10. Looking down that inside. He's actually fighting his own compatriot in the Mercedes at the moment. He's going to go the long way round, trying to fight it through. The two Red Bulls behind having a fight as well. Like nothing really changing there then. We've got a little bit further forward. We've got Yarlo ahead of Jaguar now. So Jaguar down in a 6th. Lucky High One the next one in line after that. But they have already been dropped by the front 4 in terms of DRS. Already over 1 second behind. The only gap of such size on the grid right now. Chris and Zamiku. Zamiku's having a bit of a problem. Wicked to the inside, pushing his way through against Chris. So I can imagine that probably ends up in the steer. That was a straight push through from the McLaren there, but Wicked's not going to care. He's going to try and get himself away now. The gap's starting to open up very heavily in the midfield. MCFC on the inside of the Frosty One. That was almost made too easy there for MCFC as he goes in toward turn 1. He's up ahead into the top 10 again. See what the closest gap. We've got a advantage of 1 second now at the front. Jagdi got off to a good start, but Nikita's just doing enough at this point to get himself a way to make this, well, potentially one-sided if this continues on this way. That gap keeps increasing. Nikita's going to increase the gap in the championship as well. Don't forget, Boba's currently 2nd in the championship, not Jagsy. We're just slightly dropping off the back of Nikita at the moment. 1st in the championship in 1st, and 2nd in the championship currently sits in 3rd on the grid. And the 3rd in the championship sits 5th, so we'll see how that continues to play out. Jagsy's looked a little bit all over the place on some of these corner exits. And it looks like the strategy is indicating a one-stop medium hard. I'm intrigued at how this will play out. 1.7 now the gap at the front of the field. Boba is trying to get himself within DRS range of Jagsy as well, so he can try and push on to 2nd place. If he's going to get beat tonight, he can only afford for it to be 1st and 2nd rather than 1st and 3rd. If that gap opens up above 15, then Boba's going to struggle to claw that one back with 3 to go. Got to keep it within as close as he can. If he can keep it to single digits, he probably would prefer to do so, but if Nikita's going to win this race, then Nikita will get a minimum of a 13-point advantage. Boba's under fire from Massacre as well. They are well and truly within DRS range of the Aston Martin in second place. In terms of the rest of the grid, no one's really that close. Got a nice little train forming behind Jagdi. All the way back to Nakuza in 8th. There are only two other people in the entirety of the grid. Actually, Nukanata in 9th has got himself involved in that train as well now. But there's only other two people on the grid as a whole within DRS range, and that'll be Zemu on Chris in the back of the field there, and also Wicked Prophet trying to charge down Tichy. That's a creator on the back of Boba. That could be a little bit of a spoiler in the championship race. Alright, let's see if there's going to be any sort of moves on. It looks like Zemu's dropped off of that second from Chris, so in the back of the field there's not that many fights at this point. Tichy and Wicked are catching up to the Frosty one fairly quickly. A couple of 2 or 3 man trains forming in the middle of the pack. Oh, that didn't look good there. I think Jagdi may have picked up a track limits for certain off the back of that one. He looked like he went a decent size off the track there. Let's see if there's going to be anything in for any of these guys here. It looks like it's going to be for the battle for second. Nakuza and Lucky High One trying to get themselves involved for the battle for sixth. Trying to get past Jaguar in the Haas. Seemed to have a lot more pace earlier on. But he's on the hards, everyone else is on the mediums. It should come back to him later on. Nukanut has just got himself 3 seconds worth of penalties for track limits. So he's going to have to try and clear MCSC now just to stay in 9th. No, pretty much 3 seconds ahead already anyway. So he's just going to be trying to push that a little bit more to get himself well into that 30-second gap, so he won't have to worry about it later on. A lot of following at the moment, not a lot of overtaking. That's for certain as we head into lap 5 of the race. The early going's not really having too much drama unfold. A few cars still within each other. That was almost disastrous for Lucky High One and Nakuza there. Nakuza almost stuck his nose in the middle and was never really going to make that. It looks like he's managed to get away with it anyway. Nakuza's fighting his way back. Well, trying to fight his way back to Lucky High One, who's got himself right on the back of Jaguar now. Who is slowly but surely trying to tie himself back to Yarlo in front of him. Imagine the tyres will suit him later on into this stint. See if there's going to be any room for overtakes in this next couple of corners. There might be a little bit further, but actually it looked like there was. It looked like there was one at the top, and it is going to be Boba going past Jagdi for second. Boba's 4 seconds off the back of Nikita and maybe already in need of a safety car to win. So either way, fight for his life to just get himself back to second place. Jagdi looking to his outside, looking to switch underneath to go back to the inside. Someone else caused a little bit of damage. Either way, I think Jagdi right now is trying his best to get through, but not really making much of it. He might have got a really poor exit there. Let's see if the Racing Bull's going for that. Nope, he is not going for that. A little bit further backwards now then. Looks like Zamiku has been dropped by Wicked again. Oh, is being dropped by Wicked again. The Artist Squirrel pit a lot earlier than everyone else. Tichy is on the back of the Frosty one, which means that Wicked must have had a problem earlier on in this race. Now, but continue looking at, see if we can find something for an overtake. We might have something here. Jagdy right on the back of Boba. If he can get a good exit, he'll have a shot down into turn one. With the DRS in tow, goes to the inside. He has his car there. Well, it did for a very long time through turn 1 and 2, but turn 3 didn't really do him any favours, and Boba will hold on for a little while longer. Looking to see if there's going to be any sort of moves firing off. It looks like the Aston Martin is going to try again. The Aston Martin on the outside. Oh, he almost snapped the car there. And that'll allow Massacre to the inside. And Massacre will go up to the third. Jagdy picked up 30 seconds for track limits. He, to be fair, does not look comfortable under the brakes in the slightest. Trying to trail break an F1 car at this point. It looks like everything is just trying to see it, just trying to fill itself out at the moment. Don't forget, Jagdy 3 seconds will take him outside of the top 5 by quite some margin. Actually, it might take him all the way out of the top 7. Probably drops him in behind Nakuta. Demiku picks up 3 seconds of track limits. Yellow flag in sector 3. Who's it? Who's caused it? Was that Nakuta caused it? I'm not entirely sure. I think it might have been, you know. Nakuta dropped 2.5 seconds off the back of the Lucky High one in front of him. I think it might have been Nakuta and Nukanada. Wicked just got 10 seconds speed in the pit lane. And I have never really understood how someone can get that penalty, to be honest with you. Can't exactly miss the pit lane at this point. I wonder if there's going to be any sort of movement out front. That's currently all the way towards, from Lucky High 1 all the way to Boba, inside of a train. It's about 6 or 7 cars long at this point. Although about half a second between Frosty 1 and Titchy. The same did go for AJ for a split second, but that kind of fallen, the wheels have fallen off that one. It looked like it's done the same for Titchy as well. Wheels just starting to come off a little bit. 7.5 seconds the advantage to Nikita already. Looks like Jagdy now into the pits then on lap 8. That's wise, though, not a wise decision. I think is probably the better call in that regard. He's not really keeping things together at the moment. Going toward the end of the first sector, Boba still has advantage over Massacrator. And will continue that way as well. He's continued through the second sector, 0.3 of a second back pretty much the entire way. Wonder if there's going to be any lunges or anything of that nature. We have a yellow flag. We have a yellow flag, and it's the Red Bull, Chris. That's in the wall. Now, if we had the ability to replays here, this would be really nice, but I don't think we do. AJ currently going after Jagsy. Not a sentence I thought I'd be, well, it might be a sentence what I thought I'd be saying at the beginning of the day, but about an hour ago, certainly was not. Probably wasn't even an hour ago, almost about 30 minutes ago. Would not have said that they would even got close to him. Jagsy has done a very good job at the start of this race. It has been slightly overshadowed by the fact that Nikita's got an 8-second advantage. Oh, Zamiku's out! Zamiku's out! That might bring out... Oh, there's the Red Bull in the back of the shot! Everyone into the pits! Out comes the safety car! Okay, I'm going to turn off that because that's going to give someone a seizure really quickly. The safety car induced by Zamiku, and... well, all of a sudden... oh, drive through for speed and under the safety car for Arctic Squirrel. And the bad day is going to get worse for him. Also, if you're Wicked, you are loving life right now. You're going to have to serve the 10 seconds. You're serving 10 seconds under a safety car. The McLaren compatriot's got a drive-through penalty for speeding on under the pit lane, under the safety car, so you're not really losing anything out in 16.5er. And it's a double stack here. Double stack with serving a penalty is going to suffer for Arctic Squirrel. Straight away, might as well have just done the drive-through. I know that's not how that works before anyone says anything, but I'm just saying he might as well have. Someone's had a bit of a thing there, I'm not sure what that is. Chris has just come out through the safety car onto the track himself, and now it's just his turn to catch up. Full-blown safety car as we go toward the third point of this race. And everyone is just going to start to pit now. Oh, Bowman just got 10 for speeding in the pit lane! Oh, that's going to sting. That's going to sting a lot. That is a massive error. Wow. Everyone came in the pit, apart from Frosty. Jesse gets a drive-through for speeding on the safety car. What is this? Rookie hour. Can nobody tell the number in the top right corner of their screen? I feel like speeding is not something you should be doing under a safety car going 80 mile an hour. Like, that is... you should be able to control that. Wow. As we got a couple of... well, we get the car starting to bunch back up. That is just a mess of a situation right now. Massacre and Yellow got out ahead of them as well. So we are going to have a look real quick here at the different... where all the cars came out. So Nikita is still in the lead. The Frosty one is in second place. Has not pit yet. Don't blame him at all. Blame him at all. So realistically, you'd have to two-stop from here. Especially if you're going off of a hard onto a mediums for the matter, which is what Frosty's going to do. Yeah, Massacre out in third, technically net peak 2, and then you've got Yarlo in fourth. Boba's now in fifth, but he's got a 10-second time penalty to attach to his race. So this could be a gigantic lead at the end of 7 for Nikita. And in comes Boba to serve it now. I'm not entirely sure that's the greatest decision. I'm not sure that's a good decision, you know. I'm just sat here and I'm currently thinking that Boba's going to be able to clear 10 seconds to a large majority of the grid. You pit again now. You put yourself into midfield for no reason. You are now considerably in the firing line. In terms of the fact that he has to make the overtakes in that as well. He will come out behind AJ. An interesting choice from Boba. I don't think that's going to work. And I'm surprised Frosty stayed out. He is going to provide a gigantic buffer. I don't think Nikita's going to quite get his 7 or 8 seconds back, but he's going to get a decent chunk of it back straight away here. Then you have to, so for the sake of commentary, you're going to have to pray that Yalo or Massacre could step up here. Or but Frosty One's got a pit. So yeah, it's got to be Massacre or Yala that steps up and steps up quickly. Don't forget, Yalo's still in a championship fight, only 27 points back with 4 to go. This being one of them. If Nikita can be stopped today, it could make things very interesting for the rest of the grid going forward. Boba's served his 10 seconds, but it's a killer 10 seconds, I'll tell you that much. Killer time to take it as well. Right, we come through with the safety car. Still waiting on the McLaren to catch up. I had to deal with something for a second there. Apologies. Yeah, there's Boba catching up now in the kick Sauber to the back of this grid. He's got a lot of damage to fix in terms of the amount of places he just dropped. We got 2 McLaren to catch up as well. Yeah, we are in the process of just having these McLarens catch up and then we'll be good to go again. I think this will be lap 15 is when we'll get that call. Either that or this is going to be an extremely late lap 14 call. Oh, never mind, it's going in this lap. Oh, okay then. Interesting, we're going in this lap. The McLarens have been left in the dust. And now Nikita's going to back everyone up. Frosty One's going to be the roadblock between everyone, between him and Massacrator, and him and Yarlo. Let's see what happens to Frosty One here then. Because Nikita's going to get gone as soon as he can, if he knows he can build a gap. He's going to try and catch him sleeping. Just going to try and catch Frosty One sleeping. Let's see if he goes. He goes now. And he's opened a gap already. Look at that. Look at that start. That is electric up to 7/10 straight away. And Frosty One did not have the reaction time to go off the start. Already a second advantage. That is about as good of a restart as you could have hoped for Nikita. Massacre is on through. Yellow is on through. And I think the Frosty One is about to start plummeting down the order. Frosty One still a 10th ahead of Lucky High One. We've got a fight in the middle of Frosty Lucky High One now, and the Frosty One Lucky High One gets an advantage at the moment. Frosty One's just dropping like a stone. Jaguar's on through. Jaguar's on through. I think Nakuda's next in line, and Nakuda pulls alongside him, and Nakuda goes to the inside and just takes him straight away into Williams. Oh, and I think Nukanada just caused himself a lot more problem than he needed to. I think that might be damage on the front wing. But Nukanada all the way down into second last, and Nukanada is out straight away. That is a lot of problems there for that Williams driver. Just a calamitous couple of corners. Yeah, through, so 2.5 seconds, the Massacre in second. From Nikita the Massacre. Jaguar is up ahead of Jagdi. Jagdi is in the pit to serve his drive-through, I think. The drive-through for speeding on the safety car. Arctic's got to serve his at some point as well. Tichy and the Frosty One are fighting. Tichy's ahead of the Frosty One. It looks like Boba is trying to continue to make his way through. Arctic squirrels into the pits to serve his drive-through. Wicked's gone through on them both. Boba's gone through on Zemu now. Up in the 10th goes Boba again, as he looks to try and recover as much as humanly possible out of what is going to be a really costly mistake. Don't forget, the top 10 is the only one that gets points. He's got 1 point at the moment, whereas 25 goes to the victor. So it's a 24-point extension, and take it all the way up over what? It was 6 at the start. And take it to 30 with 3 to go, and it would all of a sudden give him more than a racer's advantage. Which means he might be able to win with one race to spare here, Nikita. Or a DNF next week actually may end up doing it. Boba's trying to go right after the Frosty One. He's gone the long way round to try and get through on the inside. And almost cutting him off on the way through. Does get past and is up in the night. The gap now sits at 29 at the top of the championship. Zemu just got past the Frosty One. Actually, they're side by side as they head through turn 1, and that just about gives him any space. I don't really think he did, to be honest with you. Frosty One, however, is just plummeting down the order. Not a good run for him in the slightest right now. Like the decision to stay out was not a good one. Boba just blasted by Tichy up in at 8. The gap all of a sudden now sits at 27. He absolutely, at an absolute minimum for Boba, needs to get this under a race advantage. At least try and take it to the end at this point. NCSC 8/10 of a second there. He's trying to catch up to the back of Nakuda. Lucky High One and Jaguar is still in the back of Yellow as well. Massacre has actually managed to stem the tide for Nikita, opening up the gap. We'll see if there's going to be any sort of moves going on. Yellow's now within a second of Massacre, who's just lost a couple of tenths in the last sector or so with Nikita out front. We've got Chris and the Frosty One just fighting it out through the second to last corner here. It looks like Chris is going to get himself a real good run. Frosty One is staying ahead for now, though. Here comes the Red Bull to the inside. The Red Bull's got a much better line now. The Red Bull. Oh, Chris is ahead. It's not a clean turn 1 by any means. Turn 2 probably earned himself a track limit, but he's up in the 12th. Frosty is still struggling really badly right now. Don't forget Jagdy as well. One of the drivers that had issues at the start under the safety car with the speeding has dropped himself all the way back to 15th. He's got to find his way back through after an absolutely blistering qualifying. We'll go back to the front because the top of 2nd through 5th all within a second of each other. We'll see if anyone's going to go for a move. Right now, it doesn't look like they're going to be able to force anything. Zamika just left the session. He's already out of the race and has been for a while. We have just not long since gone past halfway in this race up to this point. Yellow flags were kicking off for a second there. They've been cleared though. So we continue on racing. Jagdy is ahead of Chris now. The Red Bull down into 50th. I assume that's what caught the yellow flag. Doesn't look like he has any surface damage though. Gets away with it. Jagdy's about to go straight after Wicked, and I think that's Frosty in front of him as well. Jagdy, you're just in a position where you want to fight for points now. You want to get something out of this race after that qualifying. You'll feel a little bit, you'll kick yourself if you don't, that's for certain. Wonder if that's going to continue on. No, that didn't look great for Jagdy in the slightest. That looked extremely wide. He tries to follow on. Here comes Wicked to go to the inside. Oh, Wicked picked up 3 seconds. Never got that. Never got the corner right in the slightest there. Never looked like making it. Jagdy trying to find his way through. This might be good. This might be really good. Oh, what the hell with that lag spike? It looked like Wicked, sorry, had just dropped himself into the wall there, but the game teleported him back onto track, and now he's going to the inside, and he pushes the Alpine through. Almost hit the side of the Alpine, and here comes the Aston Martin finally to get himself over a couple of places here. And Jagdy, along the outside, cuts himself a bit of the track again. He's just getting himself track limits left, right, and centre. As Frosty One has dropped 2 positions there, and Wicked and Jagdy are going to drive off into the distance. Good question, is any of them going to make a move on each other? Doesn't look like they're going to be able to make moves on each other. Jagdy got some clean areas, started to drive off. See if there's going to be anything for Jagdy now as he tries to hunt down AJ for a while. Zemu is after Titchy. 8/10 of a second, split those two. And then we've got a fight of 4 or 5 cars for the second in this race. And all of a sudden, Nikita has blown the doors off of Massacrator. It is now 5.5 seconds. The gap at the front is needing another safety car territory at this point. Here we go. We go as we see. Oh, Jagdy picks up another 3 seconds worth of track limits. All of a sudden, he now needs to break the gap to Wicked all over again. They both had 3 seconds at the moment. 6 seconds in the bank for Jagdy. He tries to hunt down AJ, so now he's going to clear AJ, and then a further 6 seconds on top of that. If he wants 11th, if he's going to want points, he's going to have to hope for a miracle. Or a safety car, one of the two. Or both. trying to figure out whether or not there's going to be an opportunity for a move in the middle of the, well, in the front of the pack here. 6 seconds to the advantage for Nikita, but then the next 4 cars are all in DRS range. We are now firmly in DRS train situation. Is there going to be any sort of moves, any sort of mistake to try and force the issue? Kuta is trying to hang on for dear life at the back of the train. Has caught it back in now. The 2 Harters, 2 Racing Bulls and a Williams in this one. Bobo is actually caught all the way off to 7th. He is just starting to make his way back through. So it's 25 for first, 18 for second, 15 for third, 12 for fourth, and then 10. And it looks like Bobo's got him. Bobo's got him because MCFC is in the pits. MCFC is in the pits, so Bobo gets up in the 7th. Six points on the board for Bobo at the moment then. We've got yellow flags. We've got yellow flags. There's Tichy. Not having a fun time at turn 1. Through goes the Ferrari for a split second and then bounces back. So Tichy will hang on. But 9th at the moment. If you're Jagdy, you're loving this situation. It brings them a lot closer. Frosty is now into the pits, so he'll drop to the back of the grid. His decisions have not paid off for him tonight, I'll tell you that much. Definitely going to have to figure something out as we go along. Yellow flag in sector 1, and I think that is Arctic Squirrel who's got damage, major damage to that front wing. He's in trouble now. That front wing, that left-hand side, is a bit barely even existing anymore. The Frosty one is going to barrel him down here. Oh, he's not going to barrel him down. Can he just plummet into a wall? And that will almost certainly bring out the safety car. Wow. Arctic just never got turned at all. Straight into the wall. And we are back under safety car condition. That 9.5 second advantage is again going to disappear. Nikita must feel like this race is cursed. We'll see how everything plays out now then. Alright, safety cars, so that means soft tires going on the car for a few drivers. Zamu's on the mediums, MCFC on mediums as well, Tichy and Jagdy. Well, Jagdy's going to get a lifeline and attempt to shoot for top 10. And then you've got Wicked and AJ both on the softs now. They will get a chance. And Chris and the Frosty one, and the Frosty one, well, everything that can go wrong has gone wrong. He's going to get a chance to catch up to the back of a few people. In comes Nikita then. No one has drive-throughs on the end of this one. So we're not going to get any more drama out of the safety car itself. Stays out for Massacrator. I don't think that is a good idea. I really don't think that's a good idea. We've been in this position already in this race. Never mind with a few laps to go. I wonder, yeah, so now that Nikita's in 4th. Put on a new set of hards, which is not what I was expecting him to do, but fair enough. Oh. Not sure what happened to Boba there. Boba's just been overtaken by MCFC. Boba just got overtaken by MCFC. Not entirely sure what just happened there. Don't have an ability to replay to figure it out either. We'll see. Alright, so we're just waiting for everyone to catch back up. We're just killing through the laps at the moment. I think we're on lap 23 of 31. Yep, 23 of 31 here. Massacre is going to take the lead into the end of this safety car. He's going to be followed by Yarlo, and he's going to be followed by Lucky High One after that. But then he's got Nikita on the back with fresh tyres. I see absolutely no way this doesn't end badly for everyone else not in a Sauber right now. You're Massacrator, you're Yarlo, you're Lucky High One. You need this safety car to go round another few times. Like, you need this to go to 26 realistically to even begin to stand a chance. That means you would then have to overtake 3 cars in 5 laps. Right, frankly, I reckon he'd be able to do it in 1. Jaguar and Nakuda up to the back of the grid as well. You might be looking at your podium in those 3. I think the 3 out front have got this wrong. Alright. Everyone just starting to catch up now. I think Zamu's the next big guy. Actually, no, Boba's the next massive, the next driver to catch up. Safety car's not coming in this lap then. It's far too many people to catch up for the safety car, so they're going to go to lap 25 at the very least. Lap 26 is going to be the earliest they start. If you're Massacrator, this needs to go a lot longer than this. If the safety car's still going on lap 26 and before the 12 laps start again on lap 27, you might be trying to get in a good place. You're going to be struggling massively at the moment. Looks like a few of the cars are starting to catch up. Certainly aren't going this lap. Just go over the line for start 20 to start 25 then. I reckon this might be the lap we get going. The end of 25, beginning of 26. They'll give us about 6 left to go on the counter. Your question is whether or not at this point is whether or not Frosty One is going to get there in time before the safety car decides to leave him in the dust. He needs to put a foot down. He absolutely needs to start putting the foot down, does Frosty One, to try and catch up to the back of this grid by the time the safety car rolls over. I think it's coming in this lap. He should get there. They've only just gone through the end of the first sector. That's pretty much a straight line. I would think he's going to be able to get a lot closer. We might be in a situation where Frosty One might absolutely time this to perfection. catch up to the back right as they're going, so he doesn't have to slow himself down much. Safety car pulls up. We go into the end of the third sector. There you go. There you go. That's the safety car coming in. I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to do that, Jagdi. Jagdi has overtook someone under the safety car and hasn't given it back. Because reasons, apparently. And then Jagdi was already ahead of Wicked. Never mind. Looks like Wicked is bouncing all over the place, though. Oh no, Wicked has got it back. There's carnage happening between these two because their game has not allowed them to sort it out. We might have a safety car penalty coming for someone in the background there. There was a little bit of contact. Everyone's starting to be backed up again. Massacre is going to be the one that lets us go. Frosty One has got the warmest type of the group. Nikita has ghosted. 0.4 of a second as we get going again on Massacre's whistle here. He's gone. He's off. We are back up and running. Let's see who got the reaction time right this time. And I don't think the answer is Yellow. He's off a little bit slow. On the beginning of the safety car stint, the green light, I guess. As we go racing again. We're on lap 26 of 31. This is going to be... This would be miracles if somehow Nikita didn't win from here. He is going to blow by a bunch of people on this stint. I would be extremely surprised if he didn't. Here comes Lucky Eye One defending us straight away from Nikita, who's just been stopped short a little bit. Has to brake early. Got Jaguar on his outside. Jaguar almost caused him all sorts of problems there. Not sure why the yellow flag in sector 2 is still flagging up. That is not the case. Oh, we have a bit of contact! Jaguar is the wrong way round! I'm not sure who caused it. I am not sure at all who caused that. I don't know who just got dragged down a few places, but a Jaguar is all the way at the back straight away. I can imagine someone is in trouble for that one. Nikita now to the inside of Lucky High One has finally pulled one off. 0.8 of a second the advantage now. Between Yolo and Nikita. Don't forget there's still 5 laps left of this race. I just don't see a world where the Sauber doesn't win. Well, Boba's back up in a 7th. As a result of taking the position of Jaguar. Well, it's a little bit more palatable for you for Boba than what it did about 10 laps ago. MCFC might be after Lucky Eye One here as well. As Nikita is just closing that gap down to Yalo, but Yalo's still got Massacre to really hold him there. Lucky Eye One. Nikita's just gone past MCFC. MCFC went into the back of Lucky High One in the corner, into the braking zone. That's probably what did that. So Nikita gained the position up in a 5th. The MCFC is now under fire from Boba on the inside. MCFC has gone majorly wide. Boba at the inside line going over the bridge, and Boba is up in a 6th. Jagdi's trying to get himself into challenging as well. The problem he's got is that he needs a miracle just to stay inside the top 10. Jaguar is going to have to take some solace for the fact that he's not going to end last, but he is really not going to do anything in this one now. We got well, Yala's just been overtaken by Nikita. The thing is, good luck, Massacre. You're gonna need it. This might be the best defense I ever see if you pull this off. But with 4 laps left of the race, something telling you are in deep trouble here. You are up shit's creek without a paddle here, I think, here for Massacre in terms of trying to win this race. He's got Nikita right behind him, and he is about to blitz him. Here we go, the Sauber who's been in control this entire race, has finally had to do some overtaking and some actual battling. But that actual battling didn't last too long, as Nikita now takes the lead of the race all over again. AJ's ahead of Wicked, or was ahead of Wicked, as Jaguar is round again! Jaguar and Chris around. Jaguar has gained a position, but they have both dropped a long way off the back now. Contact galore on the final stint of this race, and look at that! That was not even an attempt there from Nakuza to make that cleanly. Driven straight through the side of Lucky High One to get that position off of him. Not best pleased of seeing that. NCFC and Jagdi, it's just all over the place at the end of this one. Boba's got past Lucky High One now as well. He takes 5th off of him, so somehow managing to escape with double-digit points here. MCFC is into the pits with no front wing at all. No front wing on the car whatsoever, so everyone else is gaining a position here. AJ loses out to the Frosty One. AJ's gone well and truly off the track by quite some margin, as the Alpine will just drive on through. All of a sudden, it might not be out of the realm of possibility now for Jagdi to end inside the top 10. Taking him quite a lot to actually just stay alive, to keep himself in chance with a full of 4 points. It's just absolutely insane at this point in time. Jagdi now 0.2 of a second. It doesn't look good there either. Lucky I wanted Portman is getting some abuse in this stint. He's defending the inside now, trying to hold on. Boba's going to try and get 4th. Boba has just picked Yarlo off. That's good news for Boba, just opening the door on Yarlo in the championship. And Jagdi is ahead of Lucky High One for now. The Boba up in the 4th. That's actually somehow, in the course of all of this, with the absolute travesty of a penalty he picked up, the speed in the pit lane had a gigantic opportunity at the top 3 finish, sorry. Frosty One is all over the place. 3 more seconds of Jagdi as we go through here. And the Frosty One has just picked up absolute massive damage to the front wing. Into the pits he goes. I would have just tried to finish that race off with the damage in hand. That'll drop him to the back then. A little bit of contact all the way through this final stint, I'll tell you that much. Here comes Jagdi on the inside of Yarlo. Blitzers by him, but realistically won't have much to do with it. Then we got the 2 racing balls now, fighting each other. Massacre losing out quite heavily to the Cruiser at the moment. I think he almost pushed him into the wall. He did push him into the wall. MCFC gets track limits. And there's more contact between the racing balls, and through goes Boba to pick them both off. Jagdi is there as well. And he's going to finish in the top 3 on track by some miracle. I think you can put it on for both Boba and Jagdi for that comment. Jagdi got 9 seconds worth of penalties, however, so he is going to plummet all the way down to 10th. But wow. Also, Nikita somehow had a 9.5 second gap again. How? What the hell is going on? Jagdi past Boba. Jagdi up into 2nd on the track. Certainly going to get 9 seconds on the drivers, so he's going to plummet back down. But after all this, Boba has managed to keep the gap at the top to 13 points after Nikita has well and truly won this race. I have no idea how or what the hell I've witnessed in the last 5 laps. This is the thing that has in fact happened. Absolutely insane. Massacre is going to get nowhere near Boba at the end of this either. Here comes Boba to the inside of Jagdi. And Boba just died him And Boba gets second on the track. We've got yellow flags in Sector 2. We've got more things happening in Sector 2. Lucky is out. Lucky is out. Tichy is out. What the hell is going on? More contact. The Aston Martin of Presumer is here as well. It's got no front wing. It is absolute mayhem. Wicked's just going to blow right past him. AJ's going to get a large haul of points out of this. It is just left, right, centre. Absolute carnage. Yolo and Nakuza are fighting. They're out. Oh, that's more damage for Nakuza. He goes into the wall. We're going to go to the front. And Nakia goes into the pits across the line. I feel like that's just a flex more than anything else as he goes over the line and wins the race at Singapore by a country mile. Boba gets second. Jagsy is going to have to wait for his idea. Massacre will get third. Nakuza fourth. Yolo fifth. Jagsy has somehow ended sixth. He somehow got sixth out of all of this after 9 seconds left for penalty. Jagsy was there in seventh. Then you've got Pazumu in eighth. AJ in ninth. Wicked in 10th. Chris in 11th. MCSC is in 12th. The Frosty went after that. I don't even know how to describe the ending of that. We have 5 people dead. I don't even know. I don't even know what the hell I just witnessed. This race was going absolutely nowhere, anywhere quick, right up until that final safety car, and it sprung into life very quickly. Well, Nikita on top again. The gap is somehow only 13 points, when it really should be up towards 30. Jesus Christ. I don't even know where to start. Well, there's still game on then. With 3 to go, it's only 13 points. A win for Boba next week puts it squarely in the balance. Wow. Small amount of carnage then. There's a lot of things that happened in a short period. I don't know how the hell Jagsy ended up with 9 seconds in a 6th place from that. Realistically, it should have put maybe an extra 4 or 5 spots on top of the end of that one. But after all that, the lead of the championship sits at 13. Nikita is the winner. And Boba has somehow, by some miracle, ended second. With that being said, that is everything I have for you guys today. I will see you in Austria, same place, same time next week. Until then, peace.